right? So we are talking here in your hourly rate about a cross-project contingency. We're talking about an amount that you absorb from each of the good projects to pay for that 1 in 10 dog project that goes pear-shaped. So our long-term rate we found was 7%, because it was slightly less than 1 in 10. Now that meant that because that project usually would go massively over. It might be 1 in 10 that goes down, but it only goes over a certain amount. We found that allowing 7% meant that we had factored in that 1 in 10 project that went south. Otherwise, you get 9 projects that make good profit, and you're thinking, sweet, especially if they're the first 9 you do, and then that one bad project comes along, and it can wipe out your profit and your good hard work for everything else you've done, because it sucks it. A project will go under budget by 10 or 20%. Once a project's under budget by 10 or 20%, it won't keep going down. It doesn't matter how many hours you've got there. The guys will walk around patting themselves on the back, going, good job, we're killing it. You're going, awesome work, guys. You're under budget. This is fantastic. You're making me so much extra money. Everybody's happy, so no one's cracking the whip, right? A project can go over budget by 300%. And that doesn't get made up for on the projects. You can misquote it and have stuffed up a huge amount of stuff on that quote. Especially when you get estimators quoting for you, they miss stuff that costs you a lot of money. But if you get a project where you've double quoted stuff, we had a project in Heidelberg where we quoted architraves for 4 buildings. There was $70,000 worth of architraves that we'd allowed for. Turns out it was P50. There were no architraves. They still gave us the contract. And I had 70 grand in my budget. I realised before I gave the time budget to them. So that was 70 grand straight to my pocket. Thank you very much. If I hadn't noticed that and I'd just given them a budget for it, the time budget, the guys would have used the hours. Work expands to fill the time you give it. Right? Parkinson's law. So it will come under budget, and then they won't push harder. They'll think, this is great. We're just killing it. We're awesome. We're a great crew. Right? And they don't make up for the overruns on the projects that you quote the other way, which doesn't very often anyway, let's be honest. But occasionally when you do get a quote, you've double quoted something or double counted it on your sheet, it doesn't work out when you put guys on budget. So you need to have this contingency in there. So we have a cross-project contingency. So when you look in here, you'll see, where has my sheet gone? That we have got a multi-project contingency, or call it multi-project, it's probably easier, rather than single project contingency. So that is, what are you allowing? And you may choose not to. Like when I brought in the 2 minority business partners who became my construction director and managing director, they were the construction manager and one of the project managers. When they came in and took it on, it took me 2 years to convince them that we needed to have this in there. For 2 years, they go, no, we can figure this out. We'll be more careful. We won't quote on a job that's got mud again. Oh, we stuffed up the doors. We figured out a new way to quote doors. That won't happen again. Oh, we had access issues, lifting stuff up because we couldn't fit the freaking 5.4 metre lengths of arcs and skirtings into the alley mac, or the crane wouldn't lift them because they'd break in half. We figured out a way to do that. Don't worry. They kept on every time there was a project that went wrong. They figured out a way to make sure that specific problem didn't ever happen again. Great. Next time we had a project that went bad, it was a different problem. And in the end, they went, you know what, let's just do this and factor it in as a cost of doing business. That gives me a new break-even rate. You paid me $35 an hour, and in this imaginary scenario, $72.08 is what I need to earn on site for you as an employee just to cover the costs of my wages, the costs of all my leaves, superannuation work cover, and the cost of running a business, because you've only got 3 in the team and earn a wage, right? So that's the break-even rate. Then you need to add on whatever profit margin you want. Now, it's going to vary for different people. We used to target 12 to 15%, and we'd wash up with the year at around about 7 to 8% was pretty typical, right? I know some of you guys are in regional areas, and you told me that on the strategy call, and there's not the competition. You can put it at 20, 25%, and you can get it. Great, do it. Put in your own rate there. If you're going to put in 25%, put in 25%. You now need to charge me out at $96.11 an hour to make that target profit, right? This sheet is how you work out each person's cost. You put in your overheads there later, and then it comes up here. You'll see it now says you've got the owner, you, how much your real cost is, and then it's got, by the way, you put it up here. Annual salary you want to earn, 100,000. Oh, I think I shouldn't have deleted that. Now, yeah, okay, so don't worry about changing your director's admin at the time. That will update automatically. I mucked that up. Don't worry about it. So it's set to be as automatic as possible. So you start here. What do you want to earn? How much your time's on site? And then that should have automatically input there, which it was doing until I fucked it. So we'll fix that. So you've got me, the first one. For you, when we're working out the site rate, your rate is $60 an hour and you're on site 3 days a week. For me, because I'm an employee, I'm on site 5 days a week, right? The real average rate so far is $82.60 from the two of us. Go through and do crew member 2, 3, 4, 5, and keep going. If you need to do another one, get to crew member 7. Right click on it. Move or copy. Create a copy. Okay. It will create a copy somewhere of crew member 7. And move it to the end. Call it crew member 8. We ended up having them all on one sheet because we just had so many. We didn't want to have literally 100 tabs. But for now, this gives you a really good idea and you can go and change it. And it gets you to this rate here, your average real man-hour rate. That's what I need you to have for next week. We're going to keep looking through it. We're going to circle back to bits and pieces of it today. But that's what I need you to have for next week, guys.